the media must stop calling the guy who keeps failing to blow up his underwear a genius. You tried twice and you failed twice. Face it, the only way that the underwear bomber has affected our lives is when the guy in the next seat starts fiddling around under his blanket. We just pray he's masturbating. New rule. And this is to the Michigan man who discovered his ATM was broken and would let him withdraw unlimited amounts of cash and then proceeded to lose $1.5 million of that cash gambling in casinos. You don't need to take the money you get from a broken ATM to a slot machine. If the ATM gives you an extra $1.5 million, that is the slot machine. It's kind of like a vagrant finding a bottomless bottle of Colt 45 and selling it to go buy Colt 45. New rule, don't dress up as the pill and follow around Mitt Romney. He has no idea what the pill is. He just thinks you're his spaceship. New rule, George Zimmerman has to pick a look and go with it. Yes, when we first met George, he looked like every thug boyfriend who ever left a baby in a hot car. Then suddenly he looked like the guy who sold you a phone at the Verizon store. Then he slimmed down and went a little hipster, and now he looks like a 15-year-old Latino boy who's dating Madonna. I'm not saying this is part of a strategy to make him seem less threatening, but when he walked into court today, I could have sworn he was that kid from Modern Family. New rule, wingnuts have to stop saying they're going to boycott Oreos because they made a gay cookie. In fact, this giant blob of vegetable oil and corn syrup is the perfect symbol for gay pride, because when I look at it, I think I'd rather put a dick in my mouth. And don't try to tell me that the Rainbow Oreo was the first gay cookie. Have you ever met the Keebler Elves? You can have a male roommate in college, but if you live your whole life with 5 other dudes in a tree, even your parents know it's not really about the rent. New rule, I'm still not exactly sure what Pussy Riot is, but count me in. New rule, scientists must explain how it's possible that the tiny island country of Jamaica can at the same time possess all the most stoned people in the world and all the fastest people in the world. New rule, until every charity in the world has all the money it needs, you cannot pay someone to tattoo your boyfriend's name on your butthole. We're a jealous, violent, heavily armed society. The last thing we need is 2 guys meeting for the first time and one saying, Adam Felber, Adam Felber. Where have I seen that name before? Of course, Felber. It was right on the tip of my tongue. New rule, never buy something just because it says satisfaction guaranteed. For example, these boner pills are guaranteed to work, or your money will be cheerfully refunded by the cute girl at the Walgreens who now knows that your penis doesn't work. New rule, don't smuggle monkeys in your underpants. That's what airport officials in India caught a passenger doing. Now, I personally have never smuggled a live monkey in my underpants, although I've been accused of it many times. But guys, you know who you are. Guys, 2 things you should know before stuffing a monkey down your pants. 1, they've got terrible eyesight, and 2, they eat bananas. New rule, until the election gets better, President Obama has to stop throwing parties for football teams. Swing voters don't look at this and think, he's a sports fan just like me. They think, holy shit, he really does have a black army. And besides, why spend your weekend with men suffering from head injuries when that's your day job? New rule, Paul Ryan has to show us his birth certificate. Hear me out. He's an Ayn Rand fanatic who lifts weights every day and worships Led Zeppelin. I'm not worried that he was born overseas. I'm worried that he's 17. And finally, new rule, Republicans don't have to accept evolution, economics, climatology, or human sexuality. But I just watched a week of their national convention, and I need them to admit the historical existence of George W. Bush.
All about that.
If your party can run the nation for 8 years and then have a national convention and not invite Bush, Cheney, Rumsfeld, Colin Powell, Karl Rove, or Tom DeLay, you're not a political movement, you're the Witness Protection Program. In fact, Republicans, next time, instead of holding a convention without your most recent president, your most recent vice president, your most recent vice presidential nominee, and most of the runners-up from your most recent primary, why not just wave one of those Men in Black memory eraser wands in our face and make us forget everything we know about you? Now, I'm sure Sarah Palin would have been uncomfortable at the convention. Much of it was held indoors, but isn't it traditional to invite the last nominee for VP? Even if conceiving her was a mistake, aren't you morally obliged to bring her to term? Because if you went by what they said this week, here's how the history of America went down. Okay, first, the Founding Fathers, you know, the original teabaggers, they got the Constitution directly from Jesus. Then the first Republican president, Abraham Lincoln, freed the slaves. And the Republican Party to this very day has never stopped fighting for the black man. Except that Romney and Ryan are now polling at 0% among blacks. They couldn't get a black guy to vote for them if they gave him a Lincoln. And Mitt Romney may yet try that. And then came, of course, St. Reagan, who was the innovator of the Republican Party's greatest power, the ability to completely forget. So I'm just asking, how can we trust Republicans with the future when, as far as I can tell from Tampa, the world ended the year Reagan left office? Like in 1988, we just all fell into a deep sleep listening to Pour Some Sugar on Me. And we woke up on Monday morning, Obama and his Negro army had wrecked the joint. I mean, come on, George Bush was president just 3.5 years ago. They talk about him like he's some vague pop culture reference from way back, like the Snapple Lady or that rap duo who wore their pants on backwards. He was president for 2 terms. It's like holding a Star Trek convention and not inviting Shatner. Because, let's be real, if you're trying to sell what the Republican Party can do for you, it's best not to remind people of what its recent fuck-ups actually did to you. Especially during hurricane season. The past accomplishments of the team that tanked the economy, legalized torture, and made the surplus disappear is not the best advertisement for the future. For the same reason you never hear the words, "From the director of Corky Romano." Okay, that's it. I got nothing else.